Welcome to another episode of The Finish Line. I'm joined here by a good friend and a personal trainer, Shane Makan, who's helped many people, like myself even, go through the transition of losing weight and also staying on focus with mindset and also, feeling great about themselves. Shane, can you do a little bit of introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so I've been coaching for 15 years now. I got my pro card in the IFBB. I was the first Indian pro in the world to get my pro card. So I've been coaching 15 years, but I've been training since I was 16 years old. I used to be heavily out of shape. When I was 16, I topped the scale at about 265 before getting
Wow,
down to 140.
it's
And
a
I
huge
just
cut.
fell in love with working out
That's a huge cut, man. Like
in 2 months.
in 2 months, man, how did you manage to do that?
Well, back then it was 2004. We didn't have a whole lot of resources available
Yeah,
to us online.
yeah.
So it's literally magazines, bodybuilding magazines. And I tried following this one bodybuilder's diet religiously. It just didn't work for me. Um, and I remember I had a McDonald's hamburger and I felt like I was having a mild heart attack.
Oh shit.
So I went to my doctor. She's like, yo, you're on the verge of being diabetic. You do know everyone in your family is diabetic because I see half of them. And your blood pressure's through the roof. So that scared the out of me. And that inspired me to
Do better.
just change something in my life and just get fit and just do better. So I was actually just scared to eat entirely. I was actually anorexic for about 3, 4 weeks.
Wow.
And all that weight came right down. Christmas break, all that weight came down. When I went back to school, half the people, I'd say 75% of the people didn't even recognize me.
You were like a new man.
Yeah, I knew man. And then you start getting attention from the ladies, and you're like, oh, this is new. I like it. Let's keep going.
All right, all right. So what's one of the mistakes, like most common mistakes that people do about setting these health and fitness goals?
One of the biggest mistakes I think people make is they set unrealistic goals. One being, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, or I'm going to get rid of junk food entirely. You got to get very specific with your goal. Like a goal of, I want to drop 10 pounds in a month is a
Hmm.
much realistic goal and a lot more specific.
What defines, like, a lot of people say fit means like getting abs, but what is fit or what defines fit or healthy?
Being fit means that you could physically lift something and be consistent. That's hard consistently. And being healthy means that longevity, like you have longevity, you don't really get sick, and you could do the hard tasks without getting tired.
What do you think the connection between staying fit and being successful at work? Do you think they correlate?
So having discipline, being consistent is huge. When you're healthy, you're taking less time off of work, less sick days.
Hmm.
In 15 years, I've never taken a day off work. Never told a client I was sick. If
Yeah,
I'm sick, it doesn't last more than a day.
yeah. But you also love your job, right?
Yeah,
You
well,
have a
you love
very
what
cool
you.
job, man.
Well, exactly. I love what I do. I
Yeah,
put myself
you
in
have
that. I
passion.
immerse myself in that.
Many people start off strong in January, but lose the momentum when it comes to February. What separates to the ones that are doing that and the ones that don't do it, like they fall off? What do you think is one of the reasons?
So it's funny, they did a meta-analysis on this, and about 28% of people, so people that set New Year's resolutions in the beginning of January, about 28% of those people are still working on them
Oh,
come
wow.
February. And of that, from February to the end of the year, it's about 8% of people.
Wow.
So a lot of people just quit.
Quit.
That's it. And think again that comes with just not getting very specific. Like I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm going to go on the carnivore diet. I'm going to go on the keto diet."
There's so
Well,
many celebrity diets out there.
exactly. But that's what people gravitate to, unfortunately. Like there's people that sell online. You see, drink this tea. You're going to lose 10, 15 pounds in a week. Well, that's fine because it has senecot leaf in it,
Hmm.
and you just have the runs. Like you just have diarrhea. You just shit
Your
yourself.
body's just detoxing it
Yeah,
out.
you're
That's it.
excreting all the fluids from your body. And it's the same thing with keto, right? Like you get rid of carbs. So for every gram of carb that you eat, 3 grams of water binds to it. So you lose a shit ton of water weight. And there's a big difference between fat loss and weight loss.
Hmm.
I'd rather lose fat than
The weight.
weight
Okay,
because
okay, yeah.
that's
People
muscle and all
always
that.
get that confused, right?
Oh,
Like even for
100%.
me at the beginning, I was like, I just want to lose weight.
Yeah.
But then you can also lose muscle and you think you're losing weight, but at the end of the day, you're just getting very skinny, right?
Oh, 100%. So people want to follow those short-term diets because they want it really quickly. And everyone always asks, what's the best diet and how quickly can I lose X amount of weight?
What advice would you give somebody that feels intimidated today but wants to start?
So your bread and butter is always going to be your diet. 80% is going to be your diet. And a good starting point would be calculating the food that you're currently eating without changing anything. So start tracking what you're currently eating and then see how your body progresses from Monday to Sunday. And so definitely track your food on Monday and then but definitely track it on Friday or Saturday when people want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That
from there make changes. Like you might have to drop your calories by 250 or 500 and then see the next week where if you plateau, if you drop, if it increases.
so writing down and keeping on top of it
Yeah,
would really help.
yeah, that exactly.
How important is mindset compared to actual workout or diet? Like, do you think mindset has a huge play in fulfilling those tasks?
You could have the best program in front of you and it could do nothing for you. Or you could have a mediocre plan and if you have the mindset, you'll lose weight.
Okay. I mean, that's what a lot of people, I think a lot of people struggle with the mindset, right? They want to do all those things. They like, even like, when I wanted to lose weight, I wanted to do it, but my mindset wasn't allowing me to do those tasks, like eating clean, going to the gym. So I think mindset does play a key factor on that. What are 2 to 3 small, nuggets that you can give for somebody that wants to or develop those habits?
I would say you got to be consistent. You got to have drive. You have to understand what your why is, what your purpose is. There's always seasons you're going to have where you get really busy with kids, family, work, stress. And, it almost has to get ingrained into your identity, meaning that like if you can't get 60 minutes for a workout, do 15 minutes. If you
Hmm.
can't do a 40-minute cardio session, do 10K steps in a
Hmm.
day. Just break it up into 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. Whenever you have free time, I'll take a phone call, I'll walk outside. I'll purposely make myself go for a walk at 5 a.m. in the cold just
To wake
because
you
I
up.
know I'm going to hate it,
Yeah.
but also going to build character.
Yeah. No, no, no. Those are some real good nuggets. Um, Now, we did elaborate, you did touch base on like work balance. Like, how can somebody that has family, like for myself, like, I have kids, I have 3 kids, and I have a family, I run a business. How can somebody be consistent? Like, what do you do?
You got to plan your week ahead of time. So you know how you block time for, this podcast or a meeting.
Yeah.
Block time out to work out like it's a meeting.
So being structured,
100%.
organizing yourself will be one of the best things
Yeah, and
that
it
you can
doesn't
do
it
for
doesn't
yourself.
have to be perfect. You could do 15, 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes it's only a month or 2 months. Whereas, I mean, we've worked together for a while and you've
Yeah.
had periods where you were struggling, you're having a hard time with work, managing life just at home.
Yeah.
And it's just working around that.
No, 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 for sure, man. And I can relate to it, right? Because I've gone through it. I've done a really good job. Now, the years, like I've been putting a lot of time in rebuilding this business and rebranding this business. Now, my shift or my focus is also how can I incorporate the weight loss and, being in the right mindset and being
100%.
focused. So that's one thing I do want to incorporate in my life as well. One of the things that people always talk about is, hey, listen, like nutrition and exercise. How much of it do you think is really nutrition and how much of it is actual workout? Can somebody lose weight by just not doing workout as well?
Metabolism is kind of encompassed by TDEE, that's total daily energy expenditure. And if you go off the chart of it, there's BMR, which it's your basal metabolic rate, and that just means that's the amount of calories required just to keep the lights on,
Oh, wow.
right? So, in that, in all of that, about 5% is only exercise. So if you're
So
only
they're small.
focusing on exercise, it's so minuscule that if you're always
Really?
relying on that, but you're not focused on, how many calories you're consuming, that's what's going to dictate whether you're going to gain weight or drop fat. It's literally calories in versus calories out.
Calories in, calories out. Because I can work out every day and eat bad. That doesn't mean I'm going to lose weight. I'm just going to stay
100%.
the way it is, or I'm going to just put on more weight.
I've only work out 4 days a week, but in the last 18 days, I've lost about 22 pounds.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Mainly
See,
diet and just being consistent and sleep. Oh my God, it's so.
Yes,
A
sleep.
lot of people don't focus enough on sleep.
Yes.
Sleep is huge.
Yeah.
That's where you
And you
build
gotta.
muscle and you recover, and you could actually drop fat from just
So
quality sleep.
recovery is very important.
Oh, huge.
Yeah. I've been actually taking the supplements that you've been telling me about, and it's been working. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm resting more. I feel when I wake up, my mind is clear, which really helps.
And I swear there's no kickback from these supplement companies. I
Yeah.
take them myself.
What inspired you to be a personal trainer? Like you could have done. I know you were also a mortgage agent before, but
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah,
inspired
yeah.
you to be a personal trainer?
Funny enough, like I told you earlier that I got really heavy and, well, really fat. I got up to 265, 270, and I lost a bunch of weight. And then I just became very interested in how the body works and how, your body responds to food, training, and all that. I went to U of T and I took kinesiology, and then I kept learning about nutrition. I was doing mortgaging, yes. I was a mortgage agent, and then I got into competing, and it kind of just fell in my lap. And I remember I was just working out, and for 2 weeks, I'd always see this old guy staring at me. I'm like, all right. After about 2 weeks, I was like, dude, what's your deal? He's like, I'm actually an editor for this magazine company, and I actually want to do an article on you
Oh
about a
wow.
regular guy that's working 9 to 5 that's going to compete. I'm like, I'm not wearing a thong and flex on stage. And he was like, no, it's a new division called men's physique. You're going to wear board shorts up to here. You just need abs and a great smile. And I think you have that. I'm like, I think so too. And that's how I got into competing. And then all these people would come to me and ask me, can I train?
Like
Can I train
tips.
them? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't, but go to the coach that I'm working with because he got me in really good shape.
Nice.
And then I started learning more and more about nutrition. Then I started taking on clients. For me, it's the best job that I could possibly do. I do have a passion for getting people in the best shape of their life. And some of my favorite transformations, actually, they never even ended up with six pack abs. This had a huge gut. They went from 350 or 400 pounds down to 180,
Oh,
190.
that's a huge transformation. You don't
Oh,
need abs for
huge.
that. That's
And the
a
conversation,
life-changing
oh,
transformation.
yeah. And the conversations you have with them are so much different when they started than when you got to the finish line.
What's been one of your most memorable client transformation? It could be physical or it could be even mentally that you help someone.
So there's this guy that I worked with, and I'm not going to say his name,
Mm.
but he's from Indiana. And I remember I had this phone consult with him, and he was telling me that he's about 365 pounds. And I'm like, man, what was it? He's like, yeah, I'm a little skeptical. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. I was like, brother, when was the last time you saw your? And he's like, that's a good question. And I got to think
That's a
about it.
good question.
And we started working together, and I think we're like 8 or 9 months in, and he calls me. I had like 5 missed calls. And I called him back after work. He's like, you wouldn't believe it. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I can see my. I'm like, wow.
That is a crazy transformation. But that, you know what? A lot of people have been dealing with that kind of stuff. You know, when your belly's much bigger that
Oh,
you can't see
100%.
below, then you got a problem there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm just so
And
happy I never got that heavy.
yeah, no, no, no. But that's really heavy. You said you had a coach or a mentor. Do you like this goes to any industry, I guess, right? You always have to have a role model or somebody that you look up or mentor or somebody that can coach you. How important was coaching for you at that time when you were going through the whole competition?
So it's funny, like all my friends, my family members would always tell me, you look amazing, you look amazing, you look amazing. But my coach would tell me, you look like shit, let's go. Like really grounds you, really humbles you. I think we all need mentors. You got to be a student of life. You always got to be growing. There's always ways to do things better, for sure, and more efficiently too.
You as coach, you probably run into a lot of clients where they kind of start falling off. How often do you check in with them or like how often like how do you
Um,
track them?
some clients, it's literally every day or every other day. I'll call them. It'll be a message, could be a text, could be a FaceTime. Majority of my clients are actually from the U.S.,
So you do a
so
lot of
they'll travel
online.
here back and forth, and I'll meet them. We'll train, or it's all online. So it'd be more phone calls, and it's almost like a push and pull relationship. Like know when you're going through things with like your dad or
Yes.
starting this, I knew when to pull back,
Yeah.
and then when you could actually really push when
Yeah.
you're ready
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, no, I sense that with you. When you knew that I was going through certain hurdles, you're like, okay, you know what? Let's not worry about too much about your activity level, but focus on your diet. Things should be good. And then the minute you knew, hey, listen, I'm back in, you're like, hey, let's get back on it.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. And that's why I'm still with you. That's why I keep going with this. Do you see any parallel between financial fitness and physical fitness?
100%. Small deposits will compound more than one big deposit. Small workouts in a week will compound more than one workout in a month or a week.
So making those little step will
100%.
change.
Oh, yeah.
And that goes to anything that you do, right? Even if you
Anything,
want to
yeah.
learn any traits, even like with AI right now, like, you might not need to get the whole course, but you can spend 15 minutes learning AI, and that will
100%.
help you in, the whole year. You would have learned way more. And that goes to also training or fitness.
Yeah, I actually met this guy at the gym, and he's blown up on social media. So when I say blown up, like he's works with Kim Kardashian, her
Oh,
sister,
damn.
Zac Efron, Tony Robbins. I had a quick 2 minute conversation with him, and he was telling me one thing that I do that no one else does. I just read and learn for 1 hour a day because nobody else does that.
Reading a book 1 hour a day.
That's it. It's funny because you know, they did this study, and only 5% of Americans work out for at least 30 minutes a week,
Wow.
a day.
What
It's
is the
ridiculous.
recommended amount, anyways, to work out?
I would
Like,
say just 30 minutes, and that could just be walking outside.
so workout doesn't mean that you need to get a gym membership and start pushing weight. It could be
No,
little
not at
thing
all.
as running around the block or
Yeah,
just going for a walk or walking
go
the
for a
dog.
walk. You know what I do wintertime? Sometimes I'll go to the mall and I'll just do laps.
These are the little nuggets that you need in life, right? We're almost wrapping up with the questions, but one piece of advice that you would give some listeners today who wants to start their journey in the weight loss or start next year, what are some of the things that they should be doing?
Start now. I mean, don't wait for an arbitrary date. Just start now. Start, be very specific with your goal. And, you know, it doesn't have to, your plan doesn't have to be perfect. Create small habits that turn into discipline. Motivation is a fleeting emotion, it's discipline that carries you a long way.
Some wise words, man. No, I really appreciate that because I can relate that to even few of my agents, like, a bunch of agents that we have. Like, they always want the perfect thing. And they'll be like,
Mhm.
okay, you know what? Even myself, for example, I want the perfect podcast. I want the perfect thing. But then I've been just prolonging it, finding time or whatever it is. So I find like, you just got to start.
Yeah,
You got to start
100%.
somewhere. If you want to lose weight, you got to start somewhere. If you want to be good at doing mortgages, you got to start somewhere.
100%.
Whether it is showing up and doing those phone calls or talking to clients or getting out of your comfort spot, that's what you got to do.
You don't have to be the smartest person, you just have to be able to work harder than them
No,
and be
no.
consistent with it.
What's your personal goal for 2026? I know you've been putting a lot of time in the gym as well for yourself. Are you going to compete again in 2026?
I'm not going to compete, it's just to be in the best shape of my life. I'm 39, so I turned 40 in September.
Oh man, you're going through what I went 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. So it's literally be in the best shape of my life
Yeah.
and just continue growing as a person, like not just physically, but mentally as well.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's a wrap today. Thank you for Shane you sharing all these insightful tips and how to make your life better and also how to be in your best shape for next year. Appreciate you coming out and we'll definitely see you again.
Thank you for having me, man.